We have a good defense, right?
We're doing well so far. We just have to fight harder. Trevor, I know you're innocent, and you did not commit this heinous crime.
I am innocent, but this is the biggest case in the state. I don't think they're going to want to believe me.
Mr. Kennedy, when recess ends, I expect you to be present and ready to carry on. We operate on my time, not yours. Understood?
Understood, Your Honor. My sincerest apologies.
Now we're in the lion's den.
Just keep a level head and we'll make it.
I will trust in you on this.
Now that both the prosecution and the defense are present, we are ready to resume our case. The State of Virginia versus Trevor Callahan. Prosecution, you may bring your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call to the stand Officer Joseph Kazar. Officer Kazar, can you tell the jury what happened when you got the call?
Yes, I was responding to a call for an armed robbery that had occurred. I was one of the first officers that arrived on the scene. Dispatch, go ahead and show me on scene. Get me another unit coming, and go ahead and send the medics.
You're too late. I tried to stop him.
Sir, get on both knees.
Officer,
Get down on both knees.
I didn't do this.
Get down
I
on
tried
both
to save
knees.
him.
Get on both knees. Turn around. Wait for me. Turn around. Don't look at me. Turn around. All the way.
The guy that
Sir,
did
turn
just ran out
around.
the back door.
Do not look at me. Turn around and lay down on your stomach.
He ran out the back door. I could give you an accurate description of him.
Sir, give me your left hand. Give me your left hand. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney and you wish one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning. You understand each of these rights I just explained to you?
Yes.
Right hand. Then I brought him to my car and put him in the back. I waited until backup got there, and I also waited for the ambulance to arrive.
Thank you, officer. No further questions, Your Honor.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Kazar, did you take my client's statement on the person that he said committed the crime?
We did, yes.
Did you or anyone else look around for the person in question that he spoke of?
I'm not honestly sure if anybody did. I stayed with Mr. Callahan the whole time. I don't know about any other witnesses. Once I had Mr. Callahan in custody, I stayed with him the entire time.
Is the investigation still ongoing, or is it closed because you seem to think my client is the one that committed the crime?
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is badgering my witness.
Overruled. Officer, answer the question.
I'm not honestly sure if anybody did. I stayed with Mr. Callahan the whole time. I don't know about any other witnesses. Once I had Mr. Callahan in custody, I stayed with him the entire time.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down now, officer. Defense, you may proceed with your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I now call Seth Callahan to the stand. Mr. Callahan, what is your relationship to my client?
He's my brother.
Can you tell us what happened on the night of the murder?
I got a call from Trevor. He told me to come over. He said that he finally found the man that murdered his wife. He knew where he was going to strike next, so we had to stop him. So we went to this house where he thought the killer was going to strike next. and we saw this evil man break into his house. And at that moment, Trevor told me to call 911. When I did, I heard screams. I ran in the house and found Trevor trying to save this dying woman's life. She lost a lot of blood because several of her arteries were cut. She bled to death on the floor. And as he was trying to save her, Trevor told me to go after this killer. But I lost him in the dark. He was too fast. All we were trying to do was stop this man from killing again. And in the end, we failed. And by the time I got back, Trevor was arrested.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
The prosecution may now cross-examine the witness.
Mr. Callahan, why did you flee the scene of the crime?
Like I said, Trevor told me to go after this killer because even though we did not kill this woman, it looks like we did.
How do you know that Trevor didn't kill this woman?
Because I saw the man that did it. I saw Trevor fighting him.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down now, Mr. Callahan. Prosecution, you may call your final witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Detective Tony Balistracci to the stand. Detective, can you tell the court about the evidence that you found at the scene?
Of course, we collected blood samples and what we found was matching DNA to the victim and to Mr. Callahan here. When we entered the premises, the victim was laying flat on her back and Mr. Callahan was on his knees over top of her, looking in kind of weeping moments. When we entered the vicinity, we could see blood splatter here. Blood residue was also on Mr. Callahan as well.
Was there any blood samples matching a third person involved?
No, the blood samples that we collected only matched the victim and to Mr. Callahan.
But from your conclusion of your investigation, what did you say that the only logical explanation is that the defendant committed the crime?
Objection, Your Honor. Prosecution is leading the witness.
Sustained. Mr. O'Malley, let the witness speak truthfully of his own accord.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I retract my previous question. Detective, what were your final conclusions of your investigation?
From my investigation, Mr. Callahan was the only person present during the time of the murder.
No further questions, Your Honor.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Detective Balistracci, did you interview any witnesses at the scene?
There were no other witnesses.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. The house was in the country. There were no nearby neighbors.
I see. No further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down now, Detective. Defense, you may call your last witness.
Who was our last witness?
You'll see. She is your saving grace.
Thank you, Your Honor. I now call Sharon Jones to the stand. Miss Jones, can you please tell the court who you are?
I'm the mother of the victim, Claire Jones.
Order. I will have order in my courtroom. The defense may continue.
Miss Jones, can you please tell us what happened on the night of the murder, if you can?
I've cried every tear that I can cry for my Claire. I can and will give my testimony. That night, she had called me. We were talking about her day, and then she fell silent. I asked her what was wrong, and she whispered that she heard a noise and thought someone was in the house. I told her to call 911 immediately. She was getting scared. I told my husband to call the police. At that time, I heard a deep voice telling her to hang up the phone. Instead of hanging up the phone, she broadcasted her location, alerting authorities. And then I heard her fighting off her attacker. And then I heard her getting cut. She begged for her life. But her murderer was laughing at her. And then I heard someone fighting the killer. And from his voice, that person was the defendant, Trevor. He tried to save my daughter's life. He doesn't deserve to be in this trial.
Did you tell the police what happened?
When I told them, they told me that they would contact me if they needed more information.
Did they ever contact you?
No, they didn't. I want justice for Claire. This is not justice.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
The prosecution may now cross-examine the witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, how sure are you that you heard the defendant's voice over the phone?
Mr. O'Malley, when you've gone through something like I have, you don't forget a single detail. It will haunt me the rest of my life.
Are you certain that this wasn't a setup to make you think that the defendant was the tragic hero when he was the one who murdered your daughter?
I could hear it in his voice. He was the opposite of the killer. He was scared. He was full of care and concern. The killer was laughing at her suffering. He mourned for my daughter.
Thank you. No further questions.
You may step down now, Mrs. Jones. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, both the prosecution and the defense have now rest their cases. The attorneys will now present to you their closing arguments. Prosecution, you may begin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, today you have heard a testimony of a brutal murder carried out by the defendant. I am asking you to find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree and for him to be in prison for the rest of his days. Thank you.
Defense, you may now proceed with your closing argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the jury, today we heard a testimony about a man trying to stop a murder and save a life. He did not commit this crime. He is an innocent man being wrongfully blamed for the despicable actions of another. Please, find my client not guilty. Because in this room are only the innocent. Thank you.
So what happens now?
Now we wait for the jury. With our last witness, they'll find you not guilty. Everything's gonna be okay.
Okay.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Will the defendant please rise?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Trevor Callahan, innocent of murder in the first degree.
Mr. Callahan, I respect you for what you tried to do, and I am truly sorry for your loss. Going through this process is never easy. I admire your courage to stand firm and to prove your innocence. Though this must have felt to you like being in the lion's den, I am pleased to tell you that you are leaving a free man today. I wish you all the best. Thank you for your service today, jury. Court is adjourned.